In Rotary clubs all over Arizona, the nation, and the world, the Avenue of Vocational Service promotes high ethical standards and the appreciation of all useful occupations throughout all communities. Rotarians have a vast amount of expertise in areas that include management, supervision, marketing, finance, risk management, and ethical business practices. They can share all of these skills with the greater community through vocational service projects. Vocational service also promotes developing the ethical consciousness and vocational skills of Rotarians, but also these talents and skills within their communities. TRVFA, the Rotary Vocational Fund of Arizona, is an avenue of vocational service that allows all Arizona Rotarians to contribute to the acquisition of real world. Right now, take the course and get a better job skills of all members of their own local club's community. Who we are. The fund is a nonprofit Rotary organization serving all Arizona Rotary clubs. The fund is incorporated and tax exempt. The board of directors is comprised of 3 Rotarians from each of the districts, and a past district governor serves as chairman proceeding. What we do. The fund will support an Arizona Rotary Club's request to funding an applicant who is in financial need. Funding is to help the applicant obtain a job through various vocational and other job training programs. We will have Q&A after this presentation is completed. Our fund's vocational training's purpose for people in Arizona communities that want to improve their job skills. Get the class, get the courses, get the associate's degree, the certification, the internship, complete the course, and get a new and better job that directly utilizes the skills acquired. A few comments on this screen. Number 1. We can fund programs that complete in 2 years at a junior college and result in certification of an associate's degree. We can't fund students who are taking the first 2 years of a 4-year curriculum or degree at the local junior college. Number 2. Look for rehabilitation opportunities, shelters, halfway programs, Goodwill Inc., etc. All run programs and people there almost always qualify as working poor. If your club sponsors a student or person who also qualifies as working poor, you can apply for a grant from the Rotary Vocational Fund. Or you can get that applicant a TRVFA grant and give assistance to another deserving person who may not qualify as working poor. You help 2 people instead of 1. The JCs all have a financial aid office and are very anxious to talk to anyone who has grants available. The same for the high schools. Please contact us for further assistance if you'd like. We see many creative and terrific ways each year that Rotary can affect the working community. Our website is trvfa.org. The Vocational Fund qualifies under Arizona tax provisions for contributions to organizations that assist the working poor. This gives us, as supporters of the fund, 100% tax credit with the state and a federal income tax deduction. Here's how all Rotarians will benefit by directing money that is already out of our pockets to energize one of our very own Arizona homegrown Rotary projects. We are not here today asking for contributions. Instead, we are asking you to divert money you have to pay to the state from the state to our Rotary project, the Vocational Fund. We will answer the following questions. What credit? When did this credit become available? How much is the credit? Who can take the credit? How do you qualify for the credit? Are you eligible for the credit? What is a qualified charity? How do you take the credit? What about my federal return? What credit? A credit is allowed on your state of Arizona individual income tax return for contributions made to charities that provide assistance to the working poor, the Rotary Vocational Fund of Arizona, Inc. Okay, heads up to all who may be snoozing, let me have your attention. The vocational tax credit is not related in any way to the school contribution tax credit that most of us have taken over the last few years. It is separate and apart. It is another credit you can take. When did this credit begin? The credit began for taxable years beginning on or after January 1, 1998. How much is the credit? The maximum amount of this credit is $400 when you file a joint return and $200 if you file singly. This credit is separate from any credits given to schools and other educational institutions. Who can take the credit? The credit is available only to individuals. The credit is not available to corporations, partnerships, S-corporations, or limited liability companies. In other words, it's the same as a school contribution. It's only available to individual taxpayers like us. Therefore, all Rotarians who file individual and joint returns and end up owing money to the state on their income tax returns can direct up to $400 of the amount owed to this great Rotary project, instead of letting the state decide, in their infinite wisdom, how to spend it. And the contribution must be postmarked for January 1st, 2014. This is the reason we are showing you this video now, so you can plan ahead. Are you eligible for the credit? In order to be eligible for the credit, you must have itemized deductions and deducted charitable contribution on a prior year's Arizona return, 1996 or later, at least once. I'm sure all Rotarians in this room who are in the tax business understand the ins and outs of this tax credit program. We do ask that all Rotarians check with their tax advisor before claiming the credit. If there are tax folks in the audience, we'd really appreciate your input when the video ends. We intend to place the 2013 version of this form in the hands of each Rotarian who doesn't already have one today. Your tax advisor or preparer also has these forms, as does the post office, the Arizona Department of Revenue website, and some of the do-it-yourself software packages with state returns included. What about My Federal Return? You may deduct contributions or gifts you give to organizations that are religious, charitable, educational, scientific, or literary in purpose. The Rotary Vocational Fund is such an organization. Our message today is simple. Direct how the dollars that you must pay the state are spent and get a federal tax deduction as a bonus. Bottom line, the numbers speak for themselves. A heck of a deal, we'll all agree. And it costs each of us Rotarians not a nickel out of pocket that we aren't going to have to spend anyway.
As a recent recipient of the TRVFA scholarship, I would like to express my deepest appreciation for the program and for all those who made it possible. As a single mother of 5 children, I knew I needed to go back to school to further my education and improve my job skills in order to support them. Considering my financial situation, I wasn't sure how I was going to fund it. I was surprised and delighted to hear from my financial aid advisor that the Rotary was offering scholarships to qualifying students. I applied for sponsorship from the Mesa East Rotary, and President Judy Kasbaum invited me to a luncheon meeting and interview. I am pleased to report that in December 2012, I graduated as valedictorian from the East Valley Institute of Technology's licensed practical nursing program. On January 31st, I passed the state LPN board exam and am now a licensed LPN. Sincerely, Robin.
The Rotary Vocational Fund. Thank you for allowing me to be here, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.